I am wanting to put out a very quick video on, post this new moon in Scorpio lunar energy that we had last night. I'm filming this on the 5th. I hope the 4th yesterday went well for you. As many of you know who follow me, it's been drama, okay? And I think it's all this Scorpio energy. And I wanted to talk about it. I know, a lot of astrologers, they'll talk about the energy before it happens. And a lot of you want to know about it before it happens. But as an empath, me personally, I feel like I get the best read on it after going through it, after experiencing it. So I want to share that with you, what my experience was last night, and encourage y'all to set intentions, powerful intentions. You can still do it. But before I get into that, I want to just do a little bit of overview of the energy that we're in, and what kind of content I have coming up next. In case you like this, you want to keep watching more about this, I've got more coming, definitely. I am going to get into the breakdowns individually per sign, and just as a reminder, it's a general, so watch your sun, moon, rising, but even then really might be a little bit off. The only way you can get accurate is to really look at specifically what houses are being transited, and that's something I can help y'all with, and I'll give you more information about that as well. But anyone who wants to timestamp, I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out. At the end, if you stay tuned to the end, I will not only talk to you about setting some powerful intentions, which you can still do tonight, and I will have a collective card draw, so please stay tuned to the end. Very quickly, let's say this is super potent. Well, hell, the last, full moon in Aries on the 20th was potent. I got into a car accident that day, as a matter of fact. It's just been really off the charts. I mean, and this is, I usually have a pretty dull life, okay, but it's been affecting me quite magnificently. So I don't know, y'all let me know in the comments down below if you are experiencing some dramatic shifts, as have I. A lot of secrets coming out, holy crap, because we've got so many layers of Scorpio energy. We've got the sun in Scorpio, which is really highlighting all things Scorpio having to do with, sex, intimacy, secrets, taboos, other people's money. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which, is very, very intense, very transformative, bringing about these death rebirth cycles, and quite reminiscent of 8th house stuff. So for some of you, may be noticing things going on with the government, with taxation, taxes, we see that in the news, scandals, people getting into inquiries, investigations, prying eyes. Oh, I could go on. And so the sun is there really putting a spotlight on, all these things that maybe people wanted to stay in the dark. And, now the light is just being shown right on it. So, and then last night with that new moon in Scorpio, that is illuminating a lot of emotional energy. So I don't know if you noticed, because I noticed it within myself, very amplified, intensified fear, suspicions. I recently had a client come in and say, I need a reading because these tarot card readings are online are talking about, people are working against me, and I suspect this, and I've got these concerns. I'm like, who are these people that are working against me behind the scenes, and hidden enemies, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, you might be suspecting things within yourself. It might even be, if you watch tarot readings on here, those kind of readings might be feeding into these suspicions or validating these suspicions, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Um, they're keeping me out of the loop. They're hiding stuff from me. And you might even be, really going deep into trying to figure out what's going on. Or if it's not about suspicions, it is about, this overblown fears, okay? Imagining things to be maybe worse than they are. And I think I fell prey to that myself. And, look, tomorrow on the 7th, we have Mercury going into Scorpio. So again, another layer of scorpionic energy here affecting our thinking and our communication. So again, we can get this digging into, investigating, spying, thinking of what's going on, trying to peel back the layers and see beyond the veil, and maybe even communicating to people about these taboo topics or these things held in private or secret. So really a lot of layers here of Scorpio, like I said, and it's going to be with us for a while. I mean, the new moon, affecting us for a couple weeks, and before we get into that new moon, I'm sorry, the full moon coming up on us on the 19th, I believe. And so that's just the lunar energy, okay? But the solar energy with the sun in Scorpio, that's a month long. It started October 23rd and will not end until November 22nd. So, and then Mercury in Scorpio, November 6th through November 24th. So yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And Mars in Scorpio, by the way, I'm going to be doing a special video on that because that's lasting about a month and a half total, which is October 30th through December 15th. I'm going to go into more detail because I did briefly touch upon it in one of my latest videos, and unfortunately, yeah, content creator problems I had. I misspoke, and I oversimplified an issue about that transit. Somebody brought my attention to it, which I'm glad, because it needed to be clarified. Sometimes on YouTube, you feel the pressure as a creator to make it pop, 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 and move it so fast that you end up not being thorough or not being accurate. And so I'm going to come back and fix that, and hopefully I will go even deeper for those who have the attention span and interest. We'll go deeper in another video I'm going to put out hopefully next week. So make sure you are subscribed and you've hit the notifications button if you want to be notified when that is released. But anyway, long story short, look, because of the Mars, Sun, Mercury, and lunar energy, it's just so many layers here impacting us for like 2 to 4 to 6 weeks roughly. And I think it deserves a lot of attention. And those of you who watch Leo King, by the way, he talked in pretty good detail about how powerful this new moon was, how potent it was because of the opposition that it's making, and all of these, energies like kind of almost sitting on top of each other in Scorpio. It's just really quite potent. He called it the Battle of the Malefics. So yeah, I mean, within myself, I feel like, yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to go deeper into these energies. And so yeah, next week I'll talk in more depth about the Mars and Scorpio transit. I'm also going to release pod style content on sacred sexuality. What is it and how can I get it? There was an article that I wrote on my blog, so if you want to read it right now, you can go to it. But I know a lot of my YouTube viewers are not into reading, so I wrote it about a year ago. What I'm going to do is put it out on this channel podcast style, and you could just listen to it if you're not into reading, okay? And I'm also going to put out another blog post that is old, but I didn't release it on here in video format. I will, though, hopefully this month. And it is a blog post titled Sexual Health, What They Don't Tell You About Protecting It. So let's get into talking about how these energies are impacting you on an individual level, and we'll do a collective card draw. We'll talk about setting intentions after that. Any of you want a timestamp, greatly appreciate it. Let me say again, let me remind you, these are generalizations, all right? And your unique chart may not actually, you know, this might not be accurate to your unique chart. So only like looking at it yourself on a place like astro.com or cafeastrology.com, or astromatrix.org, which I personally really enjoy and use and love. That would tell you where Mars is transiting and the moon and the sun, what house is being impacted. But, you know, we're going to go by sign, and probably the most accurate would be your rising sign. Of course, listen to, you know, your moon, rising, and sun sign. And it's really good also for those of you who really can get deeper into this and want to look at where Mars is transiting. You know, where are you at in terms of your Mars return? Okay, are you experiencing right now a Mars opposition, a Mars square, in relation to your natal chart, in relation to where Mars was at your time of birth? These are all quite significant, and so you know, yeah, look at that yourself or get a private reading. And I will say, for a very limited time, I am offering a quick check on where Mars is transiting your natal chart, or you can ask one question, and basically for 15 minutes, I'll give you, I'll give you, you know, I'll look at your chart and I'll pull cards, and I will give you 15 minutes. It'll be for $30. Okay, this is a very limited time offer. First come, first serve. And if I run out of availability, I run out of availability, and I do have them priced very affordably. So 15 minutes for $30, limited time offer. If you want me to do a quick check on your natal chart with your astrology and the card draw, 15 minutes for $30. Reach out to me at crownedones.weebly.com, okay, on the contact page. All right, send me a message and we can connect there. I'll flash that again at the end, all right, for those of you who didn't catch it, or just, you know, look down below in the comments, in the description box, I should say. Okay, I'll probably pin something in the comments as well. If you want to just click over there, that's even better. Yeah, okay. So let's start off with Scorpio risings. By the way, happy birthday, Scorpios. Yeah, okay. What a spicy month y'all have. What a spicy month. Okay. This is impacting your first house, having to do with your sense of self, your persona. And I'm going to tell you that in my experience recently, I have come across two Scorpio risings. One of them is, in fact, having this transit impact their first house. First house is lit up. Okay. The other one, it's impacting 12th house. So if you're a Scorpio rising, maybe go look at the 12th house, that, you know, which would be at the very end. I'll do that at the very end of these, okay? But that's going to be for Sagittarius, by the way. Okay, first house, Scorpio, sense of self, your persona. There might be issues coming up in terms of how you assert yourself, and you might be coming across as like very shadowy and mysterious, or like you are acting in covert. At least that's the way people are perceiving you. So there might be some concerns about your image, your self-image, that is raising some kind of awareness about your substance as an individual. And perhaps there are some kind of shadow aspects about your personality that are affecting your reputation, and even to the point of causing difficulties within your relationship. So something is having to be worked through on that. Libra, Libra risings. This is impacting your second house, having to do with money, values, self-worth, possessions, personal income. This could be a time where you are becoming overly concerned to the point of obsession about money matters, resources. And maybe, you know, if you are going through this time where you're not feeling valued or validated, then there might be some subconscious need rising up within you to prove your worth to yourself and to others. And that might express itself through overindulgence or overspending, or going to the entirely opposite direction of being very stingy and hoarding. So this is really a time frame where whatever's going on with you, you're really being asked to evaluate your relationship with money and your values. Virgo, this is impacting your third house, having to do with knowledge, local connections, communications, neighborhoods, siblings, neighbors. This could be a very insightful time for you, where you could easily uncover secrets, or you're in the know about secrets, maybe secrets you'd rather not know about. And I'm just telling you, because it's so easy for you with this transit to come across information. Be careful. You know, you might, without even asking for it, stumble upon information you rather not know. Okay, and if you do want to know it, you need to really ask yourself before you start digging. You know, do I really want to know about this? Do I really want to get myself involved in this? Right? Some conversations you maybe don't want to overhear, because then you feel a burden of, you know, something, and then you feel like perplexed. Should I say something? Should I not say something? So, yes, this could be a time where you easily uncover secrets, but also easily get caught up into quarrels with people that you were in close contact with, like on the day-to-day, okay? And yeah, it could be like siblings, family members, neighbors, people in your local community, or it could just be people that, you know, on the day-to-day you're connecting with through business. And all these people that I'm mentioning are potential subjects of inquiry and investigations. And just having a basic everyday conversation with one of these people might stir up some kind of controversy or uncover some hidden truth, like I said, that you were not even trying, but it just comes out without you even trying or wanting. So beware, beware. Leo, and Leo rising, this is impacting your fourth house of home, family, and sense of belonging. So yes, there could be strife in the home with this transit, or simply a struggle for you to find a sense of belonging. And yeah, even if it's not like a full-on domestic dispute right out in the open, well, it could be something more like the silent treatment or getting the cold shoulder. That might come up. And if it does, use your intuition this time, because this is one of the gifts of this transit, is that we are really being blessed with more intuitive energy. And so try to tune into that. If something feels off in the force, just tune into it. Address it before, you know, it brews and boils over. Try to use the energy to move yourself and your loved ones closer to a feeling of belonging as much as you possibly can. Cancer and Cancer risings, this is affecting your 5th house, having to do with creativity, children, dating, fun, romance. Well, you know, I don't know how fun Mars is going to be going through that house. You know, at best, passions get stirred. And, you know, that could be in creative projects, dating, relationships with children, you know, and so things have been stagnant for a while. Well, maybe that's positive, okay, but at worst, the thing is, you know, you put Mars going through there, playtime's over, okay? You put a warrior out on a playground and playtime is over, and Mars is a warrior, so any games getting played right now, like if you're in a relationship where somebody's been playing head games or mind games or anything like that, this is not going to be trivialized at all. Mars just takes no prisoners. Mars is determined to win. And so people's actions might be covert. They might be very cunning, underhanded because they're trying to avoid losses. Mars hates loss. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Definitely things are getting stirred up. Absolutely, with that energy. And for some of you, like I said, you got to look at your chart, you know, and see exactly, is this a good stir up or not? Things have been stagnant for a long time. Some of you might be ready for just any kind of shift, even if it's bad. It's like, man, I got to shift out of this, which I totally understand. All right, Gemini and Gemini risings, this is affecting your 6th house, having to do with health, work, and service. You know, and I gotta say, for me, I'm not a Gemini rising, I'm a Taurus rising, but this transit is going through my 6th house. So again, just a friendly reminder that the most accurate is to look at your unique natal chart, okay? Back to Gemini with the 6th house. Be aware during this time, this could stir up some issues having to do with your health, specifically your sexual health, reproductive health. There could be STD scares. Oh, yeah. You might start really looking at your sexuality and asking yourself, you know, how much do I value my health versus these sexual unions? Because if you've been uniting with people sexually who are potentially making you sick, whether it's through your physical body, like say through an STD, or it's just your mental health, you might really during this time be evaluating, what is this relationship worth to me? Issues of intimacy also coming up. And so just also be careful with overdoing anything, including work, because, all right, even if we're not talking about health, we're looking at something possibly being some obsession or compulsion or fear surrounding work, overdoing something having to do with work. And so regardless if this is expressing itself through work or health, also gotta say 6th house has to do with pets as well. And I don't know, I recently lost my pet. I've been grieving my pet. So, I mean, I just even cried this morning. He's been gone for about a month now. So I'm not saying that you're gonna lose a pet, but maybe you're remembering the loss of a pet or something like that during this time. But the point is, however this is expressing in the 6th house, be aware of not taking on added stress. I mean, you can on the positive get a lot of work done. This, like, I don't know why I'm feeling like I'm feeling so productive right now to just work, like putting out this video and putting out more. And then there's something maybe healing and cathartic about the work that you are doing. But this is also a really great time, apart from work, aside from work, to do some purging and cleansing of your space, maybe even your workspace, your home space, your body, your mind. All right, moving on to Taurus and Taurus rising. Like I just said to the Geminis, you know, reminder, friendly reminder that this is general and might not be accurate, right? Because I'm a Taurus rising, but actually all this energy is not transiting my 7th house. It's going through the 6th house, which is Gemini. So just be aware of that. But anyway, generally speaking, for Taurus and Taurus rising, this is hitting your 7th house, having to do with partnerships, long-term relationships. So it's very likely that during this time you are exploring issues of yourself in relationship to others, okay? That's getting stirred up. Try during this time to be very careful with the projections that you're putting on others and that others are putting upon you. Notice what issues are being triggered in relationships right now, because it's a clue as to what these projections are. Look deeper. Have deeper conversations and connections with people beyond the surface of things. Be aware also of open enemies. Sometimes people are right out in the open. I mean, they're telling you to their face, I'm not about you. I mean, they're letting you know they're about themselves, but it's just sometimes we just skim over it. We don't see the depth of that, okay? And so pay attention to people's allegiances, all right? Like, right, they might not be ugly and in your face to say, I'm in this for me, not you, but they're also not hiding what their allegiances are, which are clearly not you. So be aware of these kind of dynamics, okay, in partnership, long-term relationships. Aries, this is impacting, and Aries risings, impacting your 8th house of shared assets, shared resources, inner resources, your private life, death, taxes. This is a time where you can see a lot of themes of power and powerlessness emerge, issues of trust versus betrayal, integrity and ethics versus corruption, intimacy versus separation. All these themes are rising to the surface during this time and are being magnified for the higher purpose of regeneration in your life, putting some things to death that need to be ended in your life and breathing new life into it, more powerful than before. This is a time for you to look at transmuting whatever is dark into light. This is a time for facing inner demons and knowing that you've got to dominate them or they're going to dominate you. Pisces and Pisces risings, this is impacting your 9th house, having to do with your beliefs, long distance travel, and communications and higher learning. Well, this could be a time that, you know, where you get very feisty about your beliefs and your search for higher truth and meaning in life. And getting others to share in that quest really might be a challenge for you during this time. If you're trying to make some forward movement in getting things published, getting things out to a global audience, engaging in long distance travel, maybe working within academia as a student or an instructor, whatever capacity it is, those environments could be quite challenging during this time. You could be met with troubles, say, from admissions offices or immigration authorities. So if that is the case, I do feel that you're being asked during this time to really trust in a higher plan or power, because that trust, that faith, that belief is really being tested at this time, perhaps by some subversive people or powers. Aquarius and Aquarius risings, this is impacting your 10th house, having to do with career, status, life purpose, destiny. During this time, you may have an uncompromising, relentless attitude that rises up in you. Whatever mountain you're trying to climb right now in life, be it with your career, your marital or material status, your relationships with authorities, bosses, like, people in the government, or, father figures, those kind of things are being taken to task right now, and you're being forced to assess if your desire to achieve whatever it is, whatever your mountain is that you're trying to get on the top of, like, you're being forced to assess if your desire to achieve that is really worth the struggle and strife. Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this is impacting your 11th house, having to do with community, with groups, friends, social networks, social media, your social life. So during this time, your ideals on how, friends and social media, well, let me say how friends and social media are living up to your ideals are really being challenged right now, and might even reach a breaking point of having trust in others, like people that you thought you were connected with, and now you're starting to have your doubts or suspicions, like, I don't know how tight we are actually. It might actually make you pretty pissed off too, to the point of wrath, these situations might be pushing you to really look within yourself as to whether or not people are holding you back in your life. Some of these connections, are they holding you back from being who you authentically are as an individual? And if so, this could be a time where you might pop off at the mouth and cut some people out pretty swiftly. Or that's being done with you. You're dealing with people doing that to you. It can go either way. Finally, Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This is impacting your 12th house, having to do with spirituality, transcendence, hidden enemies, self-sabotage, the dream world. Dreams, visions, all that kind of ethereal 5D stuff. And by the way, I said earlier, I know someone with a Scorpio rising, and for them it was, this transit is coming into their 12th house. So some of you, it just depends on how it uniquely hits your chart, okay? But yes, if it is in your 12th house, you are becoming conscious of hidden enemies and self-sabotage. And there could be some kind of seclusion going on within your life right now. Spending more time alone actually might be helpful for you to kind of process all this stuff optimally, but just be careful with this getting into a really dark zone of isolation, and maybe even darker zone of then directing anger and resentment inward. This is really going to be a time where you need to practice self-compassion to transcend whatever is holding you back from living at a higher potential. Pay attention also, let me say this, to your dreams and your visions, particularly the first, the few minutes, like right before you fall into that sleep stage, or the first, say, 5 minutes after you wake up from sleeping. Pay attention if you're getting dreams or visions, because it could be that Spirit is trying to show you stuff. And, because of the lunar energy in Scorpio, you might have experienced this amplified, almost paranoia of, I don't want to say it's like a hippie trippy, somebody on a, like an acid trip or something, but I'm just saying you might in your, this is really far out stuff, okay, but then again, 12th house is, okay, in your dream state, or as you're about to fall asleep, or as you're waking up from sleep, you might get these divine downloads that are just wow out there, and just pay attention to that. Write it down. Look at your dream journals, or look it up online. They have free online dream journals. And if you see animals, like animal totems, figure out what that's about, okay? Because Spirit can be trying to send you messages through these intuitive downloads, but try not to get spooked out about it, okay? Because I could see that some of you might do that. Especially with all this Scorpio energy, I could see it getting into the spooky realm. All right, so yeah, that's all I've got, generally speaking, for the signs. Like I said, if you want it specific to your natal chart, for a very limited time, 15 minutes for $30, you can reach me at crownones.weebly.com. First come, first serve. While there's availability, go to my contact page on that website. I'll have the link down below. I'll have it pinned in the comments down below. So if y'all want to get a quick check-in, you can. Obviously, if you want more time with me, you are free at the same pay rate, right? 15 minutes, $30 for every 15 minutes, okay? And because I price that so affordably, I just don't, some people might really hop on it. So again, first come, first serve, limited availability. When I'm no longer available, I'll put a message out about that, hey, I need a break. All right, so let's see, collectively, what messages we are getting in a collective card draw. And when I finish pulling cards for us collectively, I'm going to give you some advice on setting some intentions, all right? And maybe talk more on a personal level. For those who stick to the very end, those are my tried and true followers, and I get more personal. I get more transparent, right? People who are just quickie in and out, not really wanting a deep connection, they're not going to stick around for that. The good stuff is for those who wait. All right, I just got it. It ran away from me. Ooh, so Scorpio. Look at that hunger. Hunger. It's the wolf howling at the moon. And resistance. Oh my gosh. That is some deep stuff right there. I gotta sit with that. I'm gonna tell you, okay? It's gonna come to me. And I'm gonna pull some more, all right? Let me see if I can get more messages. What are you resisting? Are you resisting renewal? Okay, because I don't know why I'm seeing there's renewal here in that clenched fist. Look at the growth. Look at the renewal. But are you not opening up fully to it? Are you not really letting something burst forth? You're hungry for something, but you're resisting it. This is what I'm getting. Tell me more, Spirit. What messages do you have for my viewers? about all this energy in Mars, all this energy in Mars, Sun, Moon, Mars, Scorpio, all this energy in Scorpio, in the Sun, and the Moon, and Mars, Mercury. All right, the message I have here is you and your loved ones are safe. Okay, got a bit of a shadow there. You and your loved ones are safe. Nothing will come of this situation. I am hearing that some of you have some fears of harm being done to you, and I'm really getting here that you know, some of those fears are really over exaggerated, and that you are protected, and somebody watching needs to know that it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Let me see, can we get some more information on what this is concerning? What is this concerning? What is this concerning? Please tell me what this is concerning, Spirit, for my viewers. What is this concerning? So I'm getting this vibe with these cards that they're reluctant to come out. And it's something that's been in the shadows, something that has been under wraps, under covers, silent fears maybe, secrets that you've been holding on to, or that you're aware of, that you've been keeping, or that people have been keeping from you. This is leaning forward. Okay. So it's about a very important person or a decision in your life. And it might be something that on one hand, right, if this is a person, maybe you felt they at one point made you feel secure, or you were trying to hold on to them for security, but then the downside is that you felt like held back by them. There's some issue with security here. Now, some of you, obviously, this person did not make you feel secure. Maybe you held on to them in hopes that in time they would bring security, and they didn't. It just became some kind of ball and chain type relationship where you were holding out hope. And I'm sorry to say that this card, nothing will become of this situation. You know, if you have been waiting for some key person to show up and anchor you and give you some stability and security, I really look into this, because I don't know that they're going to deliver it. I don't know that they're going to, and I'm in a flow here. You got to know that right now at this time in history, we are dealing with so many insecure people. So many insecure. It's like you're leaning on a person for security, and they don't have security within themselves. So how can they give it to you? You know, it's bad. It's bad. Okay. What are you hungry for at this time? This is what I'm feeling intuitively. This really ties into, what I want to leave you off with in terms of setting intentions. Okay, what are you hungry for, right? I was setting intentions last night, and a lot of people do during new moons. A really powerful time where, you know, if you didn't do it last night, you could do it tonight, or if you did it last night, you could still have a round 2 tonight. You know, there's no rules against these things, right? It's a good time for you to meditate on whatever this is, this hunger in your life, this emptiness, this need for connection, which I should have said from the very start of this video. I really feel like this lunar energy all this energy in Scorpio, actually, not just lunar, whether we're talking Mars, the sun, the moon, Mercury, all of it in Scorpio is bringing up this dynamic of connection versus protection. I think many of us are hungry for connection. But if you are trying to connect to, you know, important people in your life or situations that you think are going to like give you the protection, give you the security, the stability, but it just comes up leaving you hungry for more because you're not getting fed in that way, what are you going to do? If you are looking to other people for stability and security and they can't give it to you within yourself, you know, it puts you in a self-protective mode. The same with the intimacy issue. You know, if you're looking to connect at a deeper level with somebody and you're not getting that soul connection, you start then having to kind of pull back and protect yourself because of the vulnerabilities. This Scorpio energy is really highlighting a lot of vulnerabilities. Are you hungry for somebody who makes you feel safe to be vulnerable, safe to not have to be in self-protection mode all the time and always looking over your back? You're looking for very important people in your life and circumstances in your life where you don't have to constantly be yearning for a connection that brings protection so that you don't have to be in self-protection mode. I might be really repeating myself a lot, but they are repeated energies. It's layers upon layers of energy. So back to the setting intentions, you know, this is a good time to kind of meditate on these issues and even the secrets. Like, look at, my God, right now, you know, how many secrets I have come in the know of over the last 30 days. Unreal. And I mean, the secrets I'm carrying, you're carrying, finding out things that maybe you'd rather not know, or you're like, oh, so that's why I felt like that person was creating emotional distance. Oh, so you didn't tell me about that. You left me out of the loop of that. Oh, so now I get what's going on with our relationship. You don't trust me. You have another life. You have a double life. You have a whatever. Okay. Profound, right? Scorpio, Pluto, profound revelations that are changing relationships or changing the way we see ourselves in certain relationships. So maybe having you draw back and say, oh, wow, these secrets, what do they tell me? What do they tell me about myself and who I can trust and who's trusting me? And how do I have more trustworthy unions? How do I engender more trust in my relationships? Who am I safe and secure with? Who am I not? Why? What can I do to align myself with people that do bring more security and safety? Who do I feel safe to surrender with? I mean, really be vulnerable and surrender with. Who? And I'm telling you, if the answers are like nobody or not hardly anyone, I mean, this is a time we really need to prayerfully meditate on how to get transformation of this issue in our lives. I'm going to just say it a very, you know, just being totally transparent with you, you know, in my off-camera spiritual life, right? Last night, I saged, I lit my amethyst candle. I prayed. as I was reflecting and meditating over these themes that I've talked to y'all about, and it's really it it has affected me quite profoundly, because I mean, I don't know who's not really being affected profoundly right now, because of all the layers of this, like I said before. But then again, you look at how it relates to your natal chart. For me, I think my Mars in Capricorn in the 8th house is really being triggered off of these transits. And so what's being brought to my mind is this, lifelong struggle that I have had with finding intimacy, soul connection, which I so deeply value. But it's been very hard for me in my life to get that. And also challenges with feeling unsupported. Because, yeah, 8th house is about shared resources, about sex, intimacy. And so there's been a big hole in my soul over this issue that I really feel these Scorpio transits are highlighting for me personally. And I'm sharing it with you because I feel some of you could probably relate. Definitely what I'm seeing in the cards, you can relate to that. So I was prayerfully asking, as I was saging last night and had my amethyst candle going, I was like asking God to please, remove, these connections from me that are not supportive, are not giving me the intimacy that I so value. That like all these loveless unions, sexual unions that people are after, and then they wonder why they're never really satisfied, because they're just scratching at the surface of it. They're not conscious of what they really want, which is connection. But they're afraid of it because getting that connection requires a level of vulnerability that scares them. And so, yeah, I'm at a point where I'm just like, yeah, if these people are too scared to go there with me, I just kind of don't want to get in their mess anymore. I don't really want them in my life anymore because I'm getting to be too old for this nonsense. It's becoming quite painful to see the want and the desire in people's eyes. We're talking Scorpio here. You see the want and the desire in people's eyes. But if you look deeper, what you see is that they don't really want you. They want what they think you have or what they think you will give them, but they don't want you. And so as a Mars and Capricorn in the 8th house, very painful. Very painful. And it's been like that my whole life, and I don't know if it'll ever go away, but I'm just like crying uncle last night in prayer, like I can't take any more. And also I'm gonna say that there was a lot of I was doing a lot of work to purge and clear other people's energy from me and do an energetic reset. And I'm gonna say this particularly. This will be a good time to do that, okay? And to do any kind of base or chakra, sacral chakra cleanses or meditations, you could do that. And if you work with crystals or anything like that, I would highly recommend during this time working with black obsidian. I'm going to say something super taboo, but then again, so is all the Scorpio. Let's go there. Let's talk about the taboo. So if you are needing to do energetic healing, and specifically you are wanting to purge or clear negative energies, okay, with black obsidian. Yes, you could just work with any kind of black obsidian. Like I've got a black obsidian. I don't have it right now because it broke. But a black obsidian bracelet is what I have. But and that would work, or a little individual stone would work. But yeah, they also sell, here's a taboo. They also sell massage wands. Oh yes. I said it. I sure did. Shh. All right. You figure out what I'm talking about, all right? But basically, black obsidian is something that is a psychic protection stone. It also will, it is said to shield you from negative energies and psychic attacks. It basically removes and absorbs negativity from the environment, and it protects you, especially if you've been through abuse. So I'm going to say this also. Wow, we will get into this in the next, I'll go deeper into this in the next, when we talk about Mars and Scorpio in the next video, okay? But some of you, if you are needing to heal from sexual trauma, being sexually abused in your life, or attacked, or feeling, or just merely feeling that you've been used or exploited sexually, or that you dealt with partners who just like didn't really value the wholeness of who you are, didn't really connect with you on that deep soul level. Your spirit is starved of sacred sexuality, okay? Of really being known and felt and heard and seen at the fullest level on an intimacy level, okay? Black obsidian is something that could probably help you do the healing work on that. Never too late, right? Some of you are sitting here thinking, well, that new moon was last night. No, you can do it tonight. And you can do it tomorrow night. Hell, you can do it whenever. But the energy is really potent right now. Don't miss the boat. It's a good time for you to set some time aside for spiritual work. Pray, meditate on these things, clear, purge your energy if you can, do a reset, and really take a look at what Spirit is trying to transform in your life, right? Going back to all these houses that we talked about, what is trying to be transformed in your life? And with these cards, what is it that maybe you need to, fears you need to release, and securities that you need to find within yourself and others, and how do you find it if you can't currently, right? And tap into this deep stuff, right? Tap into whatever that soul hunger is that you don't have. How do you find it? All right, I've rambled on long enough. Like I said, I've got another video coming out on the Mars transit, which is like a month and a half long, and we're in the thick of it right now. So if you want to make sure that you get notified whenever I release it, make sure you are subscribed, that you've activated the bell for notifications, and I will hopefully have it out next week. And I will also be working on, like I said, some podcasts where you can listen to sacred sexuality commentary, and more things. And right, one final thing, if you want that limited time offer, 15 minutes, $30, crownones.weebly.com. All right, I'm out for now. Y'all be blessed.